Good evening, Razorback fans. Welcome to another episode of the Hog Talk Podcast, live from the Sterling Soap and Roastery Studios, part of the Believe and Buzz Radio Network, where you can hear us each week on 106.7 Buzz 2 in Central Arkansas. All live shows are presented to you by Arkansas Brewing Company in downtown Ozark. I am Porter Hayes. Alongside me, as always, is Adam Hall. And tonight's show, we'll go over the Texas game. We'll coach, no coach, 48 hours, media fighting with media. We'll talk about all that stuff and more, and a little bit of basketball. But, I mean, Adam, I don't know. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the beatdown in Austin, or the beatdown with the media and the fans and growing weary that everybody's saying the same thing? Coach, 48 hours, but it's down to a list of 4. Then you got people writing articles on each and every coach, spamming. I don't know. I think the fans, though, are weary and growing tired of the news, and they're just ready to get it over with.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. Let's hear the news. There's not any news right now.
Let me ask you a question. I'll get, because it's going to go with it. What are you more ready for? The season to be over with, or the coach being named?
At this point, the coach being named. Because I already know what the inevitable of the end of this season is, and it's 2-10. And I said that weeks ago that 2-10 is incoming. But at this point, at this juncture, I am just ready for this saga to end, so that we can either. Here's the thing: no matter who the hire is, if you're not going to get Nick Saban, somebody's going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that no matter who comes in, you're going to have people that are complaining, that are upset, that think we should have gone with this person or should have gone with that person. And there's going to be unhappy people. I know that there was a lot, when we touched on it with James Franklin and Virginia Tech, and Arkansas whiffed on this and that. And, it's one of those things. People believe a lot of like the troll posts that Arkansas completely botched the presentation and the whatever. That came from one post of a trollish account, and people took a screenshot and start sharing it. And that's the story everybody wanted to go. People didn't want to look into that. One of the key factors in James Franklin going to Virginia Tech was the proximity to healthcare and research for sickle cell anemia, which his daughter has. So that played a big part in a lot of that. I look at right now, let's see what name. I mean, let's just run through, and this is just off the top of your head. Let's run through all the names, literally, just in the past 2 to 3 days that you have heard.
Summerall, Silverfield, Golish, Campbell, Dabo, Womack now, Campbell, 7. And then, of course, there's still people that want Bobby. There's people,
Dillingham.
He's
kind.
I'm just going right here. Another one. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's to the point to, if the media is saying, hey, we're close to a hire, but it could be these 4 names. I'm still under the assumption it's none of them. I'm still under the assumption that these people are hearing that there is a hire, but they're not telling them who. And I was on a page, and this is what's crazy, Adam. Mm-hmm. You've got your little Sports Illustrated. You've got all these things that are coming out saying it could be these people. I learned more on a 30-minute Spaces from a guy in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. Sorry if I butchered the pronunciation of that name. Because there was people in the Spaces that was giving out information of where they were going, and that was the first thing they led with. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to say Arkansas whiffed and this on James Franklin. They had the resources and medical and the family stuff. I mean, we first heard about it was family, but to hear more details, there was people in there that was giving information. There was a guy from Arkansas State that was giving information that was connecting, the dots on who's really behind the hiring. Hunter Yurchek's name was not listed in that. There was a guy, he works for ESPN. He happened to be an Arkansas alum, and his wife's a Clemson fan. And he was like, I hope it's not Dabo. And then, I chimed in was my worry is if it is Dabo, they better have some coordinators. And if they're going to give him the money, I don't think you can afford the coordinators if you're going to have to pay him what he thinks he deserves. And could you imagine Dabo coming in on an 0-3 start and having to face the Arkansas media? He wouldn't be able to handle it. They would eat his lunch. So there's a lot of things that you got to come into, in style of play. There's a lot of things. Are they going to, these coaches, you just want the name, all right? How is their style of play going to fit what will win in the SEC?
And it's one of those that is like, it's exhausting. It's tiring. It's one of those things like I don't know, even to a point, like I've stopped opening like my Facebook Messenger. The flood. And there's a handful of people that like I do message with that I have no issues like still having conversation, about all this. But it's like I've stopped even opening them all together and having any of the normal conversations that I have just because of the flood of other messages that I'm getting on people just wanting to know who. That's all they care about. And a lot of it, like we live in this world now of instant gratification with our cell phones, with our computers, with social media and everything, that it's like pump the brakes a little bit. Like as soon as it gets put out there, like, hey, this is the guy, like it's going to get put out. It's going to go out to the masses even before the university officially announces it. And here's the thing too, is all these people that are wanting a name like right now. So we come out and say, it's 100% this person. You're still going to have the other people like, well, until Arkansas announces it.
Yeah.
Then why are you sitting here asking time and time again who it is if you're not going to believe it until the university announces
that's the thing. They want us to say something, but I guarantee it. And we got burnt the last time this thing went around, but we could know 100%, and we go with it, and we would get 80% of the messages. We all don't know shit, or y'all don't know that. Hey, that's fine. We're not connected. That's why we just go off what others, because we aren't connected. We do a podcast. We're not connected with the university. We're not connected with anybody of the board of trustees. So therefore, we haven't said anything about what we're hearing. I mean, hell, we ran with, because the freaking LSU band is coming to Fort Smith. That's why we went with it. So, I mean, and something falls in our lap, we're not going to come out and say it, because we know unless we are for sure, we're just going hearsay off everybody. But that's all levels. I mean, Brandon Marcello in Fayetteville, he was an Auburn guy, but he's spent a lot of times in Arkansas. You're talking about somebody who would be very well connected. The Curry's Curry Sage. Yeah. This dude has broke a lot of stuff. There was a lot of Arkansas people, and for Bobby Bones to be like, hey, this guy, he's legit. He knows what he's talking about, because he's another one. Yeah, he does a radio station, but in his radio show, but he's a donor. He's a big booster. He's going to know something, but nobody is leaking this out. And it might be one of the people listed, but there's just too much of the same people throwing out these same 4 or 5 names. It's like, we know it's named, we know it's here, but nobody knows. And they're happening to throw 4 or 5 names out there because, well, who exactly? Well, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Nobody's saying anything.
Well, and I'm still seeing comments on whether it's TikTok, whether it's Facebook, wherever it is, that we just need to. We're still in this. We just need to give it to Bobby Petrino and hire a defensive coordinator. My whole thing with this, we've played 11 games. Coach Pittman was fired September 28th, I think was the date. Why would we wait this long just to name Bobby Petrino as the next head coach?
You said the same thing about Gruden too. Why would you wait so long? I think if they were going to name Bobby Petrino the head coach, it would have been if they would have beat Mississippi State, Auburn, and they would have done it in that bye week. But, I mean, the team is just not – they've let go of the rope, which, okay, cool. And then you have the things. We can get into the gameplay for a minute. What was the biggest thing that you've said for the past 3 weeks about the quarterback position? What have you said?
The season's done, so sit Talon and go ahead and start KJ Jackson so that he can get game reps and develop.
And what the hell happened?
You waited until the end of the game, towards the end of the game, to pull Talon and give the reins to KJ Jackson.
And how did he do?
I mean, he played well.
He did.
Played like a redshirt freshman who hasn't gotten to play a lot. He was one that if you had started him 3 weeks ago, I think that the game would have been different. Would we have won? I don't know. Probably not, because we still have the same defense. But I feel like the KJ Jackson move should have been done weeks ago. I think that this game against Missouri, KJ Jackson needs to get to start, even though it is Talon Green's last college football game.
I think you run out there. I think you let Talon, because nevertheless, he did come in. He was electrifying quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But I am, like I've said all year this year, I'm looking things. I have to look at things from a different pair of glasses. I see things through a different set of eyes. But I got to call a spade a spade. Yes, he is an electrifying quarterback, but what game has he won? What big game has he won for Arkansas? You've seen, I mean, there was people wanting to defend him, and Rohan Jones didn't run his correct route. He was getting tackled. He does it. If you look when he gets sacked, he is still trying to do something with the ball. Whether he's getting run out of bounds and you see him go down, he is trying to do a forward motion of some kind with his ball. And he did the same thing and threw it right to the LSU player. Like, it reminded me, what was that? The fake punt or whatever, where they done the stupid, wasn't it like a fake punt where he tried to throw it over the line and it went right to the defender? This was a couple of years back.
I remember what you're talking about. I don't remember the game.
It gave me PTSD of that. But I think still yet, I mean, he came in and he was 16 of 29, 206, one touchdown, got sacked. But still yet, he was showing heart. He had his legs. He was, there was one play where he was getting touched as he threw the ball and it didn't phase him.
Mm-hmm.
Why not give him a shot? What are you going to lose? You're freaking 2-9, 0-7. What are you going to lose? And clearly, Talon's going off on the sidelines, holding his hamstring. That's why Bobby should get the job. Because you need to, if you really want to take this team in the next direction and build on this team, give him the trust, because guess what? He had a game like that with one game left. You hurt him more and you hurt the program more, because everybody knows he should have been in there sooner. So guess what? Oh, now I go in. Now I ball out. You didn't have the trust in me when he was hurt. Why should I stay at Arkansas now? He's going to audition now. Missouri's going to be an audition tape, and he's going to go, and rightfully so, because you don't know who's going to be your quarterback and what coach wants to come in and what are they going to go with. I think he did more of a disservice I think Bobby did more hurt to this program than he did good. The only thing he did good was come back and get the program excited for one game.
I mean, yesterday you felt decent at halftime.
Yeah.
And, I didn't like Texas getting, the ball back to start the second half, but, that happens. And then the wheels came off. Mm-hmm. You're down 18 at one point, and then it was ugly. It got ugly quick. I don't know. I mean, I'm not shocked by yesterday's outcome. It's just something that a lot of us have been asking for weeks was, KJ Jackson, and it took till the third quarter of yesterday's game to put him in. It's all around. It was poorly handled. This whole season's been poorly handled from top to bottom. So I'm ready to move on of the season, of the coaching staff. Um, and let's get the change that we've all been clamoring for really since 2023 or the end of 2023. So we'll see what happens. The names being thrown out, we ran through 7 or 8 of them. Yeah. Is what Pete Thamel threw out there smoke screens like we saw in the comments? I don't know. I don't know if you're Arkansas at this point. I don't think you're in a position to throw out smoke screens, to be completely honest. I think you lost that quite a while ago. So I think there's going to be a lot of unhappy people with no matter the hire. Here's my thing: is if you can get a halfway decent, halfway competent coach, no matter what side of the ball is what's their specialty, doesn't matter, whatever. If you get a halfway decent, competent coach with the NIL that they've talked about, they can succeed more so than we have seen in the last 10 plus years. I think that's going to be the key, is get somebody who knows what the hell they're doing when it comes to coaching a football team, and you give them the means of NIL, because we've all heard that they're going to contribute 2 to 3 times what this year's roster was, which is 16 million. So 32 to 48. So we'll just call it 40 million. If you're going to contribute that to NIL, that's what this coach is going to have to work with. If you get a halfway decent coach, you will have more success than we've had in the past decade. So at this point, I'm not going to sit there and be disappointed or upset or hate on whoever gets hired at this point, because it's ultimately going to fall back on the athletic director and the NIL, whether or not the next coach of the University of Arkansas has success.
Yeah. Well, and you brought up a good point. You're talking about the defense. I mean, Lanning, Freeman, Clark Lee, all these guys have been defensive coordinators and turned into good coaches. Because I think the mental, let's throw in Venables. He's beaten Alabama 2 years in a row, and he's on the brink of making the college football playoff. I think the mindset of a defensive coordinator has more of that dog mentality, because they are wanting to headhunt. They are wanting to hurt you. They are wanting to stop your offense. Offensive coordinator, they're come in, they do their thing, but they want to score and they want to trick you, and they're trying to outsmart the defense. But those 4 names, 5 if you want to include Venables. You get somebody in here that is defensive minded, because anybody with the offense now, it's just air raid, it's zone read, RPO. I think it'd be a really good choice. And I think that, the latest name that is popping out is Womack out of Alabama, is a defensive coordinator from Alabama now what it used to, has some of the shine left Alabama.
Some of it has. And I like the thought process, though, because I know early on in this, there were some others, but DP on HQ Live had thrown out Glenn Schumann, Georgia's defensive coordinator, last week when we did our blind resumes throughout LSU's defensive coordinator. So I like that. I like the thought process behind it. I'm just in the midst of, I would like somebody who's been a head coach before. Yeah. I don't want to go with a coordinator. I don't want this to be somebody's first head coaching job, which is why I would shy away from a coordinator. And yes, I know a coordinator is a step up from an offensive line coach, but let's get somebody who's ran a program before. We've seen Eric Morris's name a lot from North Texas. We've seen Alex Golish, which we're hearing his name some less and less. It's one of those that I don't know at this point. I don't, I was kind of surprised last night to hear Silverfield's name because I felt like that had kind of dissipated over the last several weeks. And it's very possible, like was said here, that it's not any four of those names that were said on the broadcast. And I get, Bobby Bones said that the main guys aren't even on that list.
He said two. When they were looking at these four names. They're like, two of them are correct, but there's two that's not even being talked about.
Mm-hmm. So it's a crapshoot at this point. So, like we've said, no matter who this hire is, you can't miss out again. And by miss out, I mean this: you can't mess up this hire.
Yeah.
This hire means more in setting back this program to essentially all but end this program. If you whiff again, you're done in college football.
Well, and no one knows. Absolutely. I mean, other than the ones really on the inside, that circle, how many ever people that may be, they're the only ones. And there's people saying they made a hire, but yet they're naming 5 names. So did they? But it's just, the longer you go, the bigger the name this has to be, because again, these fans are wanting to, they need a turnaround. I've said this multiple times this year. I understand that Cal's great for the basketball program. Dave Van Horn is amazing for the baseball program, but this is the foundation of your program. You need to revitalize your program, and it starts with your football program, because who is actually people in the chat can answer how much excitement is going on with the basketball program right now. I mean, you're hearing more negatives than not, because they're like, well, they're not scoring this much. They're, blah, blah, blah. And it could be effect because of the football program. But what
did we ask? What did we ask before this season for the midweek home games?
Yeah.
And I know we're not to SEC time yet, but looking up, and yeah, you can fire back at me and say shame on me because I'm not up there at those games either. But it's one of those things. It's like, it's disheartening for this team, as good as they are, to look at an arena that has less than 10,000 people in it.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Friday night game, there wasn't that many people there. I'm going to answer this right quick, though. Explain the revenue sharing rules. So essentially, every school gets an even cut. So this year was $20.5 million. And that school divvies it out to their entire athletic department. They choose the percentage that each team gets. And so the school, the athletic department determines how much the football program get, basketball, women's basketball, golf, all the way down the list. They determine it. It can change. Well, the dollar amount will change year to year. And with that also, each athletic department can also change the percentage of how much each team gets. So let's say this season or this next season, Arkansas decides, hey, we do have X amount of dollars in NIL coming in that can help, or that has helped, whatever. So they may turn around and give a higher percentage of the rev sharing to another team that may be struggling or may needs it. So I'm thinking, is that the?
Yeah, this is just the
estimate, the idea.
Yeah, this is the idea of it.
This was So basically, this was an estimate. So if you look at it, football, they're estimating that the average that the football out of the 20.5 million got 15.3 million, which then breaks down to $146,000 per player. Basketball team, it figured up to $218,000 per player. That changes every year. So every year it'll be a higher dollar amount, but it's up to the school to determine what cut each program gets.
And this is not Arkansas, just for the people that may be just tuning in. This is just a template of, because of course we don't have lacrosse or rowing or field hockey. So this is just an example to explain the answer to William.
Yeah. So it changes year to year. So ultimately, this is where your school has to figure out balancing NIL and rev sharing. Because let's say that it's like Arkansas basketball. You have a good amount of NIL thanks to a John Tyson or whoever. You may not want to give them a high percentage of the rev sharing, and you may want to put that to baseball or women's basketball or something else to help benefit them, because this team over here, men's basketball, is getting money from the NIL. You've got to have a good athletic director, and if you have a GM that's doing something, a good GM to sort this stuff out. Yeah. And I think we're sitting in a position that we have neither.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing I keep bringing up week after week is the AD and the targets. If he's not the guy who's going to be that target, but also if they get the home run hire, they do get this money. I don't care who the AD is. If he's the position that if he could still suck at his job and we could get all this money because he sucked at his job and the basketball program is doing good because of John Tyson. Yeah, he's kind of robbing University of Arkansas out of money because he's not doing his job. He's not, if he's outsourcing everything. But it's the fact that you need to have somebody come in. I think they really need. There's so much they need. I mean, they don't even have an NIL agreement. I mean, the Pigpen Collective's trying, but in documents and things and plans that people's put out there talking about rumors. I mean, there's a rumor going around that, somehow all these people are forming this new plan to have a NIL collective and a TV show deal and all this NIL for football. And you need that's what you need is a complete rebuild of the whole program. You collective and a fundraiser, an AD, a name for your stadium. I mean, everything.
Derek, I'm not saying that he Yurachek buys himself more time. I think that he then dictates how he goes out, because I'm still in the mindset of Hunter Yurachek is buying himself time, building his resume with being the chair of the college football playoff. He's biding his time to move on. Whether it's another AD position, I still have heard that there's going to be permanent positions within the college football playoff when it expands next. I feel like that he is waiting for that to happen to get a permanent position on that whenever it does happen. And we're looking at, the 16 team expansion within the next few years. Now his contract was 26 or 27 that it runs out. So I kind of look at, he's just waiting. Now, if you come into next season with whoever you hire, and yes, you don't have a whole lot of time to work with, but at the same time, it's one of those that maybe he should exit next season. Mm-hmm. I think it's one of those things that he's going to be able to just wait till the end of the contract. I feel like was in the next either December of 26 or December of 27 is when it runs out.
Yeah. And here, I mean, Scan or Baz, I like, Scanlon because the business aspect of it. I mean, Baz, he loves what he's doing. I think him being, at Little Rock Touchdown Club and then the buzz of being that ambassador role, Houston Nutt would be a good one for an ambassador role. I think you have to have somebody come in that can run a business, because this is what this is now. Somebody who's NIL and can fundraise, can speak. I mean, gosh dang, let's get into that. I mean, he can't do an interview to save his life, and here we're getting mocked on every Tuesday. You talk about Saturday. Hell, I don't look forward to Tuesdays now because of the interviews that he has to do when they come out with the new college football playoff bracket. It's like just
I mean, he's
you know,
just giving
let
all of
somebody
us
else.
more clips to post. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, that is true.
so I mean, it is one of those things. Like people are gonna mock him, people are gonna joke him, people are gonna like, hey, guess what? Arkansas fans are too. Y'all aren't gonna hurt our feelings. We already know it. Like
Yeah.
we've been dealing with this for years. You know, like everybody said, ever since the must bust are you still here? You're still here video. Um, a lot of people lost faith in him after that. So we'll see what happens. But I don't I think that I'm not saying he's bought himself time to see the end of his contract or get an extension, but I think that he will potentially get to leave on his terms.
I just think there's bigger fish to fry. I think if he was doing his job, we would not be in this position. Because if he was doing his job, Sam Pittman would have been fired a year ago, and we could be trying to get this thing rolling this year, opposed to the mess that we're in now. He would have finally came to his senses and embraced and not let the edge go down. I mean, do we have your Razorback raffle up yet? Let me see.
No, it starts tomorrow. It's at $0.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, that's where we were saying a year ago, fire him because yes, he is a great guy, but you want to get ahead of the curve because look what OU's done. You could have been ahead of OU in the grand scheme of the SEC if you would have built your program. They were coming in with a new coach with Venables. Texas did the same thing with Sark, but they made a great hire, and now you see where they are, and they're doing it with a mediocre quarterback.
Who we made,
and OU's doing it with a mediocre quarterback. Look at all that. That's the thing. If you look at the people with the defenses, Marcel Reed at Texas A&M, mediocre quarterback. None of these are superstars. They are going out and they are getting star players and they are building defenses with defensive minded. Elko was another one. I left his name off. That's what it takes. You get a dog in here that wants to come in and change this program. And I don't care if they have ties to the state of Arkansas, because guess what? Frank Broyles was not from Arkansas. He come from Georgia Tech, I believe. And you win. Guess what? You'll be remembered forever. If a guy comes in, they could be from Alaska. If he comes into this program, turns it around, and they win a national championship, he's going to be a Razorback forever. That's all the people want. Yes, in-state recruiting. Let's recruit. Let's get some of these kids. There's no reason you're getting these 3 stars and they're sitting on the end of the bench. At least bring some Arkansas kids, develop them, turn things around. I hope, Jordan. Yeah, I wanted Venables. Mm-hmm. I think he would have been a good coach when he was down here for the Broyles Award. I love Venables. I love what excited me about being a Clemson fan, because when their defense was legit, they were feared. Now they're not. And you see what happens. You have a mediocre quarterback with a mediocre defense. You're a mediocre team.
We made Arch Manning look like a Heisman candidate yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
But I told you and some other folks, like, he's about to have a career day, and that's what he had. But yeah, and we heard early on too, just going back to the rumors, the talk to whatever, that, it was Trey Biddy, I believe, on the walk and talk after the LSU game, that Yurachek was going after a defensive-minded coach. So it's one of those things. Is that where the Kane Womack thing started? Because I felt like that kind of came out just in the past couple of weeks. And then to hear like that Hunter Yurachek's interviewed 22 to 24 candidates over the last however long. Yeah. And that was one of the things that even Trey Biddy spoke on with James Franklin. That one thing that he did ask about was the stability within the Arkansas athletic department, which, yes, starts with Hunter Yurachek. So it's one of those things that some people may be turned off to the fact that, hey, my boss, if I come in there, may not be there. Then who am I going to work for? There's a whole can of worms with that whole scenario. So,
well, the good thing is It was not a one-score game. So the record is still with Nebraska. So that is the silver lining. You don't have to worry about Arkansas breaking that record for one-score losses. And let's bring the NFL into it. The Chiefs were 0-5 this year in one-score losses, and automatically in my mind, I'm like, are they the Arkansas of the NFL? And then 2 minutes later, they come back and win the game. So I spoke it into existence. They got scared. They did not want to be compared to Arkansas, and they won the game. So Patrick Mahomes needs to send me his game check.
I was disappointed in that outcome. I'm
not. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick commercial break, hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll carry on the conversation, talk a little basketball, bring up the Duke game that will be coming up on Thursday. We'll touch more on that on our Wednesday show. Again, because Thursday, Thanksgiving, we're going to do our show on Wednesday, but we will take a quick commercial break when I go through all these line of ads now. Okay, we'll be right back. Searching for premium grooming products that will take your daily routine to the next level? Look no further than Sterling Soap Company. Our handmade soaps, aftershaves, and balms are made with only the finest ingredients that give you the ultimate grooming experience. With a variety of scents to choose from, there's something for everyone. Plus, our products are crafted in small batches to ensure the highest level of quality. So why wait? Visit www.sterlingsoap.com or visit our retail store at 16 West Walnut Street in Paris, Arkansas. Shop our collection and discover the difference for yourself. Upgrade your grooming routine with Sterling Soap Company. Are you looking for a place to grab a cold drink and some delicious food? Look no further than Arkansas Brewing Company. Located at 201 South 1st Street in beautiful downtown Ozark, our establishment offers a wide selection of craft beers and tasty eats. But what sets us apart is our welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. At Arkansas Brewing Company, you'll always feel like part of the family. So visit Destiny and Christopher Brockett and staff today and see for yourself what makes us the go-to spot for locals and visitors alike. Arkansas Brewing Company, come for the drinks and stay for the friends. Attention DIYers and home improvement enthusiasts. Are you searching for the right tools and supplies to tackle your next project? Look no further than Mentor's Hardware Store. With locations in Ozark, Alma, and Clarksville, our vast selection of hardware and building materials is sure to have everything you need, whether you're fixing a leaky faucet or building a new deck. Plus, our knowledgeable staff is always on hand to offer expert advice and guidance. And with our competitive prices and convenient online ordering, Mentor's Hardware Store is your one-stop shop for all your DIY needs. Visit us today and let's build something amazing together. Are you looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than ATU Ozark Campus. As a 2-year satellite campus of Arkansas Tech University, we're dedicated to a quality workforce education, industry partnerships for in-demand jobs, and tailored paths for success. Our programs are led by industry professionals. Whether it's a certificate or you're aiming for a graduate degree, ATU Ozark has you covered. Visit our website at www.atu.edu/Ozark or contact us at 479-667-2117. Your future begins here. Welcome to Ozark Area Chamber of Commerce, where our mission is simple: encourage, promote, and aid an enduring environment of shared economic opportunity and civic development for the Ozark, Arkansas area. Whether you're a local business owner or a resident, we've got something for you. Shop our unique local businesses, explore the beauty of Ozark, and savor local flavors and find cozy accommodations. Join us in building a stronger community. And to learn more, contact us at 479-667-2525. Remember, together we thrive. And welcome back to the Hog Talk podcast. Before we get rolling, we're going to throw up a little comments. And right here, Titan Pig, can't speak Arkansas into winning, though. I tried. I sacrificed for the sake of trying to be in first place in this pick'em. I could have picked how I wanted to and been in first place this week if I wanted to. But I sacrificed and took Arkansas to try. I was on a little bit of heater, and I thought maybe if I pick Arkansas this week when nobody else did. So, Titan, I tried, dude. I tried.
I mean, y'all better swing big if you want to come for the champ. And the champ is me because the belt is in my possession. So,
look, I rolled into third place and automatically got a taste of success.
Well, we know that once we get to bowl season, and then playoff season in the NFL. Like things could swing quickly, and we're all within reach of each other too. So
Yeah. And this one right here to both questions, Durkins has Auburn's defense rolling. Yeah, but man, I don't know. I think it's going to have to be somebody that can come in and really change this thing around right here. Big head.
well, I mean, it's one of those that we don't even, Ole Miss puts out that statement on Kiffin that he'll say whatever after the Egg Bowl. A statement like that tells me that Lane Kiffin's leaving Ole Miss. I feel like
I'll reveal my thoughts when I come back to join y'all on Hog HQ.
that works. But then you had, whoever it was on 3 reporting off of a post from Ross Dellinger that Kiffin was getting like $95 million from LSU, and that's where he was going, and which I could see that. I didn't see a point, or I don't see why he would go to Florida. There's no benefit to going there, and LSU is a obviously bigger name. They get their own recruits, not just based on the coach. Plus, you add in a coach like Lane Kiffin. I mean, that would make more sense to me. Here's the funny thing, I guess. If you're Lane Kiffin, if you're Ole Miss, if you're a player on that team, if you're whatever, if you're a fan, it's very realistic that Ole Miss could end up in the national championship. You're going to announce after the Egg Bowl whether you're staying or so. Say you now announce that you're leaving, but then say you still make it to the national championship at Ole Miss. How's that going to go?
All right, I can't help it. I was gonna wait. I was gonna wait, but I can't. I think he's trolling the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
What started this whole thing? Freaking Will Weeks thought he'd take a video or a picture with his daughter, like he was flexing. What's happened to LSU since then? And you know what he did? He retweeted that and said, "Take the over." Like he is trolling. And I'll say this, for this guy to be trolling on that type of level and have his team in a position to go to the college football playoff and compete for a national championship, I think he's staying. I think this is a whole thing, because what do you want to do to look what he has. You're going to a 9-game season next year, SEC schedule. You've got LSU and Florida in your hands, eating out of your hands, thinking you're coming to one of those schools.
So you're not searching for another coach right now.
I mean, he's playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. I mean, that's I think it is, and I wouldn't be surprised if he left, because guess what? What does he love to do? He loves to get on there on Finebaum and pick on him. He loves to troll on Finebaum. So all these national media, oh my God, for him to leave, I don't want to hear another thing about the portal. And then guess what? He stays. All these people with egg on their face now because they're just so sure he's leaving. I think he's staying.
I could totally see that. I mean, obviously, I like the pettiness within him.
You got it. I mean, that you got to admire that. If he stays, I think if he stays, Adam, you need to put a picture of Lane Kiffin behind you as the grandmaster troll, a petty troll. I think that should be.
But
I'd trade you the belt for a picture of Lane Kiffin. How about that?
I could completely see that happening. And like I said, I think it was last week. To me, Lane Kiffin's future path leads to Alabama, to him coaching as head coach in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. And you know what? I wouldn't be mad at that, because you know what? That is the pinnacle. And, he was a coordinator there and he left. I mean, that is I don't care what happens. Look, there's blue bloods, and I know Notre Dame falls off the wagon there. They haven't done anything since '88, but if you're a college football fan, if you've loved college football for 30, 40 years, Notre Dame's one of those schools. Alabama is one of those schools. USC is one of those schools. I mean, it's just the fact of the nostalgia and the history. Throw the recent success, and I mean, you look at going into Notre Dame Stadium, going to Alabama, and being the coach. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that, but I think he is staying because why would you go to LSU or Florida now, knowing the heat's already on DeBoer, and he's not going to live up to the success, so he might be there 1 or 2 years, and then you stay where you're at, get your contract, and then you go to Bama.
I think that's that's his end game is Tuscaloosa. So I could totally see him staying at Ole. I thought he was going to stay in Ole Miss this whole time.
Yeah,
I never thought for a second Florida was an actual thing, and I thought that LSU, if it was anyone, it would be LSU if he was going to leave. But either way, it'll be interesting to see what the other schools do after next Saturday. And that's why I think that if you're Arkansas, you just need to go ahead and get this announcement over with.
Yeah.
And, whether it's done in the next 24 to 48 hours, so be it. It's that time of year. Obviously, we've been seeing the gifts are going to be coming out full force. So we'll see what happens in the next 2 days.
You imagine if it was Drink.
I've already said I would not watch another Arkansas Razorback coming. No.
Yeah,
I would not watch another Arkansas Razorback football game if Eli Drinkwitz came to Arkansas as a head coach.
That would, I mean, you're talking about announcing this week. Wouldn't that be some crazy stuff?
The only way I would watch Eli Drinkwitz, head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks, is if at halftime of this weekend's game, he makes the announcement at midfield.
Hogan going heel.
Like I need to see that to get behind that happening.
He goes up 35-0 on Arkansas.
Arkansas and then comes out and announcement.
Back and they beat Missouri.
That's the only way that I would ever root for Eli Drinkwitz.
And I then he's every third down, they'd have to change the music from Stone Cold to the NWO.
So
yeah, that'd be crazy.
We'll see what happens. But but basketball time.
Yeah, basketball, Duke game. Again, look at what happens. We're playing Duke and we're talking football. That happened last time. Playing Duke, Bobby Petrino. So you do have the Duke game coming up. This is concerning. But Cal said it. Cal said it perfectly. They better come out to play or they're going to get run out of the gym.
Yeah. I mean, this is a game I was worried about this game before the season even started, before we even caught a glimpse of Arkansas's team and talent. But watching Duke, and I've only watched a small portion of Duke, but Cam Boozer is insanely good. Yeah. And it's when Arkansas is going to struggle. Arkansas is going to have to throw every big man that we have at Cam Boozer throughout the game, which means, and one thing I worry about with this team, because we've already seen it in games that were against lesser opponents and didn't matter. Or obviously all the games matter, but didn't matter as much. Wasn't as big of a stage. If you're almost getting into fights against Winthrop and against Jackson State, you have to control that before you step on the court with Duke. And especially with how Cam Boozer plays, none of us need Nick Pringle or Trevin Brazil getting technicals or flagrants or thrown out of a game, whatever the case. They've got to calm themselves down and stop. I mean, for the simple fact that a player on Jackson State got under Carter Knox's skin so much. I mean, that kid was bound. The player from Jackson State was ready to go. And I'm sorry, Carter Knox. I don't know that you would have been ready for it. Just in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. And that's not a shot at him, but the kid from Jackson State was ready to go. they've got to control their emotions and their tempers when they go to play Duke.
Yeah, it can be one of those where either you come and play, and this is, look, I don't care if they're freshmen. You know, you're putting 4 McDonald's All-Americans out on the floor. Like you're talking about now you're wanting to sit at the big boy table. You're wanting to play with the big boys. Duke is the head of the big boy table. I mean, Kentucky, I mean, whoever, you know, you could throw, I'm talking about, you know, just, it's kind of like my talk about the football, you know, Kentucky and Duke, and you could put UConn in there. I mean, when you're talking about seats at the big boy table, you've got to throw Duke in there. And it could be one of them UNLV situations where at the end of the game, they're telling Cal, you better go get some men, because I'm telling you, if you want to win the national championship, you talking about letting Jackson State and all these people and Winthrop get under your skin. What's going to happen when you get bodied? What happened? I mean, look at the past when Musselman was here. They go up against UConn, Gonzaga, you know, North Carolina, Duke, and you go against these people where you're getting bodied. Baylor was another one where you just get destroyed down low, and you can't have that. So this is going to be a big test. I'm not saying Arkansas is going to necessarily lose, but they're going to have to bring their A game. This is one of those, go back to the Illinois game last year. There's something about these neutral site games. Arkansas's got to learn how to play an A+ game, because that's what you're going to be doing come tournament time. You're going to be playing in these neutral games, probably at 2:30 on a Thursday. You know, you've got to get ready for this. And Cal has set this schedule up. They're talking about Winthrop's going to be a good team. They have a chance to be in the tournament. That was not a slouch team. Jackson State, they just run all over them. But don't sleep on Winthrop. That could be a team that can win their conference and make a tournament run. But they better be ready.
I feel sorry for Jackson State, and shout out to them for, you know, at least like putting up the effort, because your losses are close to now 45 points is your average loss at this. I mean, it takes a lot to get out there and suit up for, you know, especially at a school like Jackson State, where, you know, there's not NIL. And I mean, we heard all that from when Dion was there. So it's tough. But no, Thursday, you have to bring your A game. And maybe we'll be surprised that Duke doesn't bring their A game. You know, crazier things have happened. I think, but, you know, this non-conference schedule is exactly what Coach Calipari wanted, to see where this team was at, to beat them up a little bit before they get to SEC time. And I mean, I think in it right after Duke, they have Louisville.
Yeah.
I think so. That's something that you're turning right back around for the, what is it, the SEC ACC Challenge? Yeah, you've got Louisville on December 3rd. So
quick turnaround.
Yeah, and then you've got a game against Fresno State, and then you turn right back around against Texas Tech. And then you turn, you know, then you got Queens, then you turn right around and play Houston. So you've got a rough month of December, really starting Thanksgiving through New Year's. You're going to have some games to really find out how mentally tough.
Earn your pay. I mean,
we're about to find out how mentally tough and physically tough this team is over the next month and a half.
I just see this true as a turning point in the program. Cal's going to start running the basketball team like Colby Hale runs the soccer program. You're going to come to Arkansas. This is what we expect of you. If you're wanting them, you know, 500, 600, 700,000 to come play for 6 months and then go to the NBA, you better be ready, because look who we're playing. And you need to be using these games that are lower competition. You need to be executing what you need to do to win. Now, Jackson State, I'll throw that anomaly out there, because there was, you know, that's one of those games where in the third quarter, you're just having fun. It's hard to stay locked in on a game like that. But I'm talking about Winthrop, Michigan State, all these other games that you play. this is going to be your life now at Arkansas. If you come to Arkansas, you're going to be playing because other programs are doing it now. Arkansas is not the one just leading the charge on this. Like we said, all Elite Eight teams are playing schedules like this.
Mm-hmm.
You want big boy money, you're going to play big boy teams on big boy stages, and you better be ready for it. And this is going to be a true test. I mean, Michigan State, they played in a hostile environment. It was a great game, lost by 3 points. They should have won the game, but they didn't. But you have to be ready. This is going to be a different environment, neutral site against a better team that you better be ready for.
Mm-hmm. Thursday night, 7 p.m. on CBS. Duke's averaging 94 points a game. Arkansas's averaging 91. Duke's holding opponents to 57, while Arkansas's holding opponents to 70. So I think that right there could be big. I'm looking at the other one. Duke's averaging 44 rebounds. Arkansas's averaging 39. Field goal percentage is almost even, just above 50. Yeah. So we average a little bit more assists, more steal, or just barely more steals. So I think it's going to be. I don't trust ESPN's analytics showing that Duke has an 89% chance of winning. I don't believe that. I don't buy into that. Arkansas just needs to go into this game. I think that we're going to see I think this will be the best game that we've seen Malik Thomas play thus far. And that's saying a lot because he's had great games so far, but
he's going to have to need Acuff, do the same. I mean, that's everybody's talking about Malik Thomas. Acuff just as highly touted. They're going to need him. I want to see Brazil. You come back, don't get lost in the limelight. Bring your big boy pants. I mean, drop your nuts. I just have a feeling it's going to be a war, and either you're going to get demolished or you're going to be ready for the challenge. Because if you win that game, that is going to help swing that momentum of, all right, we are what we are advertised as. And that's going to be huge going in because, again, Illinois last year, Michigan State already, you've got to be able to handle winning those big games to give you that motivation of that's what it's going to take to make a Final Four run.
Yeah. So it's here.
Yep. And speaking of that, we're at the end of our show. We want to appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Great comment section tonight. Bring more of it. 8:05, we're going to be back with DP, Hog HQ Live. I'm going to be joining the guys in the place of Matt. So, hey, let's have some more fun in another hour.
Definitely. We'll be here.
All right. For the Adam Hall, I'm Porter Hayes. Thank everybody for tuning in. And instead of Thursday, Wednesday, we'll catch you in an hour.